Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down something that might just flip the script on everything you thought you knew about being an entrepreneur. We're going to toss out that old idea of starting from scratch and instead dive into the game-changing strategies from financial expert Ramel New Worlds. We'll explore why buying a business that's already up and running is the fastest and safest way to build real wealth.
Okay, so let's get right into it by talking about the path we're all told to take. You know, the one that glorifies the startup grind, the hustle, the building from nothing. Well, it turns out, for most people, that path is a trap. And the numbers, well, they tell a pretty brutal story.
Just look at that number for a second. 90%. That is the failure rate for new businesses within their first 10 years. That is a staggering, sobering statistic. It means that the traditional way of doing things, building from the ground up, is statistically a recipe for disaster, not for financial freedom.
And this right here really lays it all out, clear as day. On one side, you have the builder. You're taking on massive risk, starting from absolute zero, spending years just hoping to see a profit, and basically guessing with your marketing. But on the other side, you have the buyer. You get a proven business with a track record. You have cash flow from the very first day you take over. You already have customers and you have systems that work. It completely flips the whole risk-reward thing on its head.
So you see it, right? If building is the trap, then buying is the escape hatch. Or as Ramel puts it, it's the cheat code. This is all about finding businesses that aren't just making money now, but are built to last. The kind of businesses that can weather any economic storm.
And let's talk about a perfect example of this, the self-storage industry. Check this out, a 92% success rate. Why so high? Well, think about it. It's an essential service. When the economy's booming, people buy more stuff and they need a place to put it. When the economy's struggling, people downsize, and they still need a place to put their stuff. It's a business that wins no matter what.
Okay, so that's the theory, but let's make this real. Let's look at an actual deal, a documented case that shows you just how incredibly powerful this strategy can be in the real world. Now, the math here is just wow. So, you have a facility valued at almost $2 million. Because the owner was motivated to sell, it was bought for $850,000, less than half its value. The buyer put down $110,000, and from day one, that business started generating $25,000 a month, net. I mean, think about that. That's a kind of return that could take a lifetime to get in the stock market, and it happened instantly.
And I know exactly what you're thinking right now. That sounds amazing, but where on earth am I supposed to get $110,000? And that's where most people get stuck. But here's the secret. You don't need millions in the bank. You just need the right blueprint.
All right, let's start with a really powerful tool that honestly, most people completely overlook. We're talking about business credit. And not just applying for a card here or there. No, this is a very specific method for getting your hands on 0% interest capital that you can use for your down payment, meaning you can get into a huge deal with basically no money out of your own pocket.
Now, what's so important to understand is that this is a surgical strike. It's not random. First, you build a strong credit profile, not just the score, but your payment history, how old your credit is. Then you do your homework. You find out which banks pull from a single credit bureau, let's say Experian. Then you apply for a bunch of their cards all at the same time. This way you can get a ton of approvals before those inquiries have a chance to show up on the other reports.
But what if your credit isn't perfect? No problem. There's a brilliant little workaround for that. You can partner up with someone who has a great credit profile. You just add them to your company's operating agreement, use their strong credit to get the funding, and in exchange, you give them a piece of the profitable business you're about to buy. It's a total win-win situation.
Okay, next up in our funding toolkit are government-backed loans. The Small Business Administration, the SBA, isn't just for starting a business from scratch. It's actually an incredible resource for financing the purchase of an existing one.
I mean, the leverage you can get from the SBA is a total game changer. Just look at the 7A loan. You can buy a business worth up to $5 million with only about 10% down. How is that possible? It's because the government is guaranteeing up to 80% of that loan for the bank. That makes the bank feel a whole lot safer and way more likely to give you the money.
And hey, look at the requirements. They aren't some impossible mountain to climb. We're talking a 650 credit score, a clean financial history, your tax returns, and a solid business plan. Really, it's all about being prepared and showing them you're a professional who can successfully take over this already successful business.
All right, buckle up for this next one. This is a very high-level strategy that the wealthy have been using for a long, long time.
It's all about how to turn a specific kind of life insurance policy into your own personal bank, giving you an insane amount of control and flexibility with your money.
This is where things get really interesting, because your money starts working for you in two places at the same time. So you fund this special policy, and your cash in there just grows and grows with compound interest. Then you go to a bank and get a line of credit using that policy as collateral. So you can take the bank's money and go buy a cash-flowing asset, all while your original money is still sitting in the policy, growing and compounding. It's a seriously powerful way to multiply your wealth.
So you've got the blueprint. You know all the different ways to get the funding. The next big question is, where do you actually find these amazing business opportunities?
Finding great deals is a skill you can learn, and here are the tools. You can start simple, online with marketplaces like BuiltBuying, or you can get out there and be proactive. There's a strategy called driving for dollars, which is literally just driving around your area looking for businesses that look a little neglected. You know, a storage facility with weeds growing everywhere, a laundromat with a broken sign. Those are clues that the owner might just be tired and ready to sell you a great deal.
So, we've covered the why, the what, and the how. We've laid out the whole strategy for buying a business and the exact blueprints for how to fund it. But you know, the final and honestly the most important part of this entire puzzle, it has nothing to do with tactics, it has nothing to do with money.
And this quote from Rommel just hits the nail on the head. It's the ultimate takeaway. The information is all out there. The funding strategies exist. The businesses are for sale right now. The real thing holding most people back isn't a lack of resources. It's a lack of belief. It's having the confidence to actually take that leap, knowing that you've got a proven model to follow.
Look, the path to financial freedom isn't about trying to invent the next big thing from scratch. It's about finding the car that's already running perfectly and just getting in the driver's seat. You have the tools. You have the map. The only question left is, what are you going to do about it?